Sheikh Anta Diop, an intellectual portrait. Molefi Asante. Dr. Asante is a professor of African American Studies at Temple University and is a founding theorist of Afrocentricity, explicated in his seminal work, The Afrocentric Idea. Considered one of the most distinguished and prolific contemporary scholars, Professor Asante is an Imhotep scholar and Egyptologist with a wide intellectual range, having written over 300 articles and published 61 books. To name a few of his recent books, The Handbook of Black Studies, 2006, co-edited with Olana Karenga. Encyclopedia of Black Studies, 2004, co-edited with Alma Mazama. Race, Rhetoric, and Identity, the, the Architecton of Soul. Architecton of Soul. Y'all forgive me, my bridge is getting in the way of me pronouncing. Erasing Racism, The Survival of the American Nation, 2003. Ancient Egyptian Philosophers, 2003. Scattered to the Wind, 2002. Alright, cool. Number of Sheikh Anta Diop, an intellectual portrait. Alright, so I'll start right here. Linguistics, classification, and rates of change. Sheikh Anta Diop's emphasis on archaeological. Okay, hold on. Sheikh Anta Diop's emphasis on must be looked at in connection with his emphasis on linguistics. He believed that language was an important means of demonstrating the relationship of one people to another, and could find in Africa among the Ewe, for example, a relationship to the ancient language of Egypt. This was not unusual for him. It was not to be seen as something unexpected, but something that was organic to the makeup of Africa itself. J. Edward, 1963, in his book, The Languages of Africa, attempted to identify all African language groups. This led to a major controversy among African scholars themselves. In fact, neither Diop nor Theophile Ovanga agrees with Greenberg's classification. Greenberg spoke of four broad areas: Afro-Asiatic, Nilo-Saharan, Congo, Kordofanin, and Hoshana. Y'all forgive me, I'm not really good at pronouncing these words, these names. I'm just working at it. I'm working them out. I'm butchering the names, but y'all get the picture. The Afro-Asiatic includes Arabic, Aramaic, Garag, Tigrinya, Berber, Tuareg, Tamashite, Somali, Gal, Afar, Sidamo, Beiti, Bai, Fi, Hasu. Oh my God, there's so many names of like in the Bible. Such and such beget such and such. But yeah, I'm reading this the intellectual portrait. Very good book. Very good book. It's about. Let's see if I can find a good brief summary on Sheikh Anta Diop and what his importance is to me. What is his importance to me? All right. Let me see. Okay. see. Uh, well, I mean, I guess I could start at the beginning. I guess I should start at the beginning. I read a couple pages from the preface of the Cheikh Anta Diop, an intellectual portrait. One day in the summer 2002, when I was in Paris, I went to Rue des Galops and stared up at the apartment where Cheikh Anta Diop had lived during the time he was a student in Paris. I searched it up and down, looking for some sign that the great scholar had lived in the building. There was a historical marker on the building indicating that the Senegalese scholar had lived in the apartment during his college days. It was very clear. It was a clear victory for Africans in Paris who had campaigned to have the historical marker placed on the building. But there it was in Paris, an announcement that the great African scholar once lived in that building. To Theophile Obanga, Anna Yananga, Sheikh M. Baki, Diop's son, nuclear physicist, and to the small restaurant cafe where Diop had his coffee and DuPont. Mm, to my amazement, Diop was present as if he had not died in February 1986, because all we could talk about during our lunch was the presence of Diop, and in a perfectly good African way, we understood the eternal presence of great ancestors. There's no budding uh, biography here, only the concrete that where we were was the exact place where Sheikh had often sat during his sojourn in Paris, a long ways from the sandy village of Kete in the interior of Senegal. Alright. Sheikh Anta Diop was a dedicated scientist. Um, right? Um, but I wanted more of Diop, the man who had designated Obanga as his heir in the struggle to write the history of the intellectual history of the African world. What kind of man was Cheikh Anta Diop? From Obanga, which was his right-hand man, I learned that when Cheikh Anta Diop was in a conference, he was a powerful presence, but that when he was finished with the meetings, he went to his hotel to study and to rest. He was not a party-goer and did not engage in usual business or socializing after work. For him, life was dedicated to the mission of overturning the cruel hoax played on the African people by the falsifiers of our history. Hmm, that's good. Cheikh Anta Diop understood the importance of a new concept of historiography in order to advance a more effective interpretation of African history. European authors created a problem in the interpretation of African history by seeking to impose their own ethnocentric biases onto the discovery of African reality. They wanted to speak for Africa rather than allow Africa to speak for itself. Mm, okay, that doesn't say too much about him, but I mean, this preface is about 10 pages long, so I mean, this whole preface summarizes Dr. Asante's uh, brief um, introduction, and this book is basically his way of giving homage and Sankofa. You know, Sankofa is a term. Uh, I don't know if it's Swahili, but it's an African word um, coming from West Africa, I believe, meaning to go back, go back and remember. Um, actually, it's this right here. It's this bird um, on this book. the golden bird on the top of her staff. That is the Sankofa. Sankofa. And I can give you the I can give you the term for Sankofa out of this book. Because they wrote down the term. This is Africa on My Mind, Reflections on My Second Trip by Atlantis T. Browder. Her dad is Anthony T. Browder, the famous Kemetic Egyptologist. Alright, so let me see if I can find it. Sankofa. Alright. Oh, this is going on 11 minutes. Ooh, I gotta hurry up. I don't want to make this 15 minutes. Oh, Sankofa. The process of returning to the past to gather information which is vital to your future development. The glossary. I knew there was a definition in this book. 'Cause I read this book when I was over the road. It was a good book. It's talking about the places they visited. Africa on My Mind by Atlantis T. Browder. Good book. But yeah, Sankofa. This is Dr. Asante's way of going back, remembering something in the past to help him in the future. Yo, y'all stay lifted, be gifted, be spirited, peace, one love. I'm out.